distant dream. A universe yet to form before this town can be born. Slowly, particles fuse and mutate, and planets emerge. With gas turned to a mass we know as Earth, a complex tapestry of life begins to unfurl. The world transforms. Plates split, volcanoes spit molten lava to mountain ranges shot with green, then white ice creeping from mountain tops to encase the world, locked in stasis. Until, from this, evolution accelerates, and, with the toil of human hand, buildings stretch toward the sky. Buildings to settle, to live, to worship, to die. In the town that becomes Stoneford, and then, through time, Stamford.
Early records of Stamford document the influence of Roman and Viking visitors. By the time of the Domesday Book, Stamford is the second biggest town in the East Midlands. It is one of the 10 largest urban populations in the country. The Stamford Bull Run is first mentioned in an account from 1209. It is said that William de Warenne, Earl of Surrey, was overlooking a meadow where two bulls were fighting over a cow in a neighbouring field.
Earl William de Warenne surveys his land. A meadow stretches to the horizon, and on it, two bulls angrily clash. Heads low, but one makes a frantic dash in the opposite direction, an open gate. The bull approaches at a furious rate, and into the town at once he escapes. As the Earl watches on, he decides to give chase. Mounted on horseback with a mob in pursuit, the bull's freedom cut short. And so might end this tale. And yet the Earl did say that should anyone be willing to pay for a bull each year to replicate the chase, then his meadow would be given to the town of Stamford, a gift and a place that became known as Bull Meadow.
The bull running day started when St Mary's church bells rang at 10:45 a.m. Anne Blades, a keen bullard who became known as the Bull Lady, marked the moment the event began. The bull was released to the cheers of the surrounding crowds. The bull would be enraged by a man who would roll towards it in a barrel. Riot, yelling, shouting and uproar held absolute sway amongst a crowd keen for a lively and entertaining fight with the beast.
The town's prize stirs restlessly, unaware of his fate, with jeers from the crowd as they impatiently wait for the moment when St. Mary's bell tolls. Barrel rolls, and the bull is set free. Hotter, more frantic, the tension increasing, the cries for blood never ceasing. With their bull clubs the bullards run the length of the town, before cornering the beast on a bridge, to be thrown down into the swells of the river beneath. The bravest bullards approach with gritted teeth. Exhausted, the bull is lifted, the crowds crow, as from the bridge he is thrown to the water below. The beast disappears, before emerging again, swimming desperately to find safety, but his effort is in vain. The crowd already waiting, as he musters energy for one last charge, but the fight is gone. And as the conclusion looms large, bull clubs descend. And this, for the bull, is the end. Cut apart, used for meat, the stories are shared as the townsfolk feast on the flesh of the bull, slaughtered for fun, for 600 years, passed from father to son.
After more than 600 years, the prevailing opinion in the town began to change, with a growing sense that the bull run flew in the face of morality and religious beliefs. Influential town members began to speak more openly of their opposition, and local newspapers carried stories that showed concern about the pleasure that some gained from the treatment of the bull. Eventually, outside forces were brought in to try to end the custom. In 1833, the 5th Dragoon Guards were given the task of enforcing change.
Drums sound. as the 5th Dragoon Guards gather around. A stricken bull finds solace in the rat-a-tat. Charged with ending the torture, the guards encounter a crowd that resists their attempts to bring them under control. The face-off continues, with townsfolk and troops head to head. The crowd jeers and whoops. The bull's path blocked by the advance of guards, guns raised to defend a charge. The bull lowers his head. The threat of his horns loom large. Yet still they move closer, avoiding alarm until, gently, the bull is detained. And peace in the town maintained. The crowd, left with nothing to pursue, the mood, at first angry, begins to subdue. No bull, no run. The time had come for the town to move on. Beyond barbarity, consigned to memory.
In 1839, the Dragoon Guards finally stopped the bull run by detaining the stricken bull and keeping him in protective custody. As well as the end of a Stamford tradition, this also heralded the birth of the RSPCA, formed to protect animals from unnecessary cruelty and still active today. Today we honour the tradition of the bull run, bringing together friends and families in an act of celebration and unity. The mark that we make is to honour our heritage as a town united, no longer with acts of barbarity, but now with solidarity. No longer with a bloody fight, but with stories painted through words and through light.